Hey, everyone. It is Rashida Roberts here with Black Women Empowering Finances and just wanted to come on and y'all, we have a networking event coming up and we just wanted to talk a little bit about personal finances. So we are just going to jump right into it because this Saturday we'll be networking. Yes, first Saturday is here, and this will be our seventh straight time networking. So if you have a small business, please come on out and let's network, okay? Because I'm telling y'all, look, if you were here last week, you know I just told y'all like in January is like I've triple doubled, I don't know, quadrupled what I made over the past couple of years. So I'm definitely looking at hitting, like that's my goal this year, hit six figures in business because I know it's doable. Like I know it's doable now, right? So it's just exciting. And I'm meeting all of these wonderful people. I mean, people are just like placed like chess pieces, y'all. So if you have it in you, come out Eastern Standard Time. Is going to be from 9:30 to 11. And we actually finished a little early last time. So definitely tap in so that you can so that you can win too. All right. And you just never know. You just never know who's going to be in the building. And so we've just been meeting so many great people, but I'm just a part of some amazing groups and just I'm meeting so amazing people along my journey as trying not we're not going to use the T word, right? As building business. Okay. And just a little bit about Black Women Empowering Finances. We are a group of women empowering other women to help them in their finances, and we're building that platform each and every week, every week, every month, as we talk to different people and we have our networking event, we have our annual events that we do. And so we're growing, we're building, and we would love to help any women-owned business who's starting up or needing to get started to help them, achieve and, get their business off the ground. Okay. And guess what? You're going to be set up foundationally because we got in the house insurance, protect your money. Okay. Make some money. Okay. Keep your personal finances in check would be me. Helping you get to profits in your business. Okay. That's Joyce. And then how to get business credit and even accounting with Joyce and Janisha as well. And also accounts receivable, how to do what? Collect the cash. So everybody is here. Everybody is here. All right. So we're gonna be up. I'm about to bring my other co-host up. She is back in the house, y'all. Thank God. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. But she's gonna come up here in just a second. But I'm gonna put on here just a quick clip. So come out April 1st, and then we're gonna get into a talk about personal finances. Okay, just one moment, y'all. All right, we are up here and we have Miss Tasha Singleton with TJS Financial Solutions, also Black Women Empowering Finances. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Welcome back to the social media platform. Welcome back to the internet. Welcome back. Yes. Okay. Yes. She's been off a little while, but she's back. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Again, guys, she is part of Black Women Empowering Finances, and this encyclopedia right here, a walking encyclopedia. All right, let's get.
Hi, everyone. I am Tasha Singleton with Black Women Empowering Finances. I'm also the founder of TJS Financial Solutions and the host of the podcast, The Secrets of Earning Money Show. Well, I am excited to be back. I have been offline for a while, and it is exciting to be back. And there's no better time than to come back online just in time for our networking event, Black Women Empowering Finances. We are going to have an awesome networking event this Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to go to blackwomennetwork.org to register. Rashida Roberts, as you've heard, her with her awesome personality, and she is a master financial coach. She will be talking about personal finance as we kick off Financial Literacy Month in April. So April 1st is the first day of Financial Literacy Month. Oh, excuse me. It has been newly named Financial Capabilities Month now. So we are excited because we are all passionate about helping people do better with their finances. Okay, so especially women, because when you help women get their finances right, we change generations' lives in a positive direction. So we are excited.
All
I'll turn
right.
it over to
Yeah, I see we have a user saying thank you for having us. Oh, well, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. Seriously. Queen King, love it because sometimes I know a lot of people get caught up with no, we don't see anybody here, nobody's liking our posts. Look, somebody is watching. And so I don't care how many people it is. Really, when you just, I know we don't get in business to help just one person, but I'm down for small numbers because, I just need to light the spark in one person and that lights the spark in somebody else. And so, humble beginnings are great. And just we just get so drowned out about where we are. So anyway, Saturday, I'm going to be talking about where to put your money because as y'all know, last week Fed rate went up again. What's that? Twice this year? Yes. So that means for every moment that they continue to increase, right? That means that our money, if it's not in specific spaces, then we're gonna be losing money. So that's something that definitely want to talk about. These are tumultuous times, a lot of crazy stuff going on, especially if you're watching the news. Turn it off. Turn it off because we could definitely keep you down with everything that's going on. So just with personal finances, y'all, we really have to think about, we really got to just start looking, right? Just look at what's going on and do you think things are getting better? Like, are they getting better or are they getting worse? Like, the saying, and I had to email my crew today and tell them, like, y'all know the saying, before things get better, what happens? What happens? So we need to make sure that we're preparing, all around, preparing for, I know we can't prepare for everything, but we can prepare for some things. So some things you want to think about is, one, there's a lot to think about, but from Tasha's perspective, because she is a risk manager, if the breadwinner in your household lost lost their job, or if they passed away, what would you do? Right? Whoever is making the bulk of the money for the household, if you lost that income, what's going to happen? Okay, so where should you put your money in that particular incident, okay, to help you with those debts, with costs, the replacement of the income? That's insurance. Okay, I'm not an insurance person, or I'm not a certified insurance agent, but y'all, I'm learning about infinite banking, and I'm like, whoa. Like, I know there's a lot of gurus out there that talk against it, but when you really understand it and it's properly set up right, that's a platform, that you could put your money. And it's basically just a concept. You're using permanent life insurance, but you have to set it up right, and you have to deal with people and agents that are going to set it up right. Okay, whether you're using whole life or you're using index universal life. So there's so many components to it. You do need to understand it, but that's just one idea, is using insurance to have tax free. It's a tax advantage account, y'all. Tax advantage. Look, I just asked Tasha a couple of questions. Boy, she knows her stuff so well, and she gets so excited when she talks about it. It's just awesome, right? But insurance is one place, and a lot of people don't like to talk about it. But guess what I learned, y'all? I learned that over 56% of African Americans have insurance. Oh, don't let them lie to you. We do have insurance. The problem is that it doesn't get passed on for as generational wealth. That's where it like the cookie crumbles. But we do have insurance. So I know it may seem like, all we do is GoFundMe's, but that's not that's we got insurance. We do have insurance. It just doesn't lag like it, we just don't pass on that inheritance. Okay, it might cover the death benefit, or whatever. I don't know. All the that's just the generality is that we do carry it. Okay, so because I'm not the insurance person, but just looking at some other things, thinking about where your money could go. Okay, if our money is sitting in the so one of the examples that I used today was basically if our money is sitting in our bank, right? We're earning 0.0000 or 0.01% interest, but the Fed rate just went up 0.25%, right? So that means that whatever's sitting in your bank account right now is losing money because the cost of bread, cost of milk, gas, whatever it is going up. And so that same dollar that you're having to use is going to actually purchase you less. All right. So we have to try to counter that and fight that. And with the interest rates going up, you have some high yield savings accounts that are looking, a little bit better, right? They're about 4.5%. And you can go on bankrate.com and they have some pretty good, they'll have a pretty good idea. You can get pretty good idea of different places where you can find a good high yield savings account. Okay. Is that the only way you can put your money? No. But when you want to think about where to put your money, think about, first of all, you got to think about your goals, right? You have to think about how liquid it is, how liquid that you need it, okay? Because your goals will determine, hey, do I need this money now? Do I need it in an emergency? Will I need it 3 months, 6 months from now? Or am I going to be planning for a long term? Maybe it's a short long term, I think like 2 to 3 years. Or maybe I'm planning out super long term, like, retirement or whatever. What is your money going to be doing for you? So you always have to assign your money. Okay. So think about your goals, assigning your money. How liquid do you need the money? Right. Because liquidity is how fast can you get to it. Right. So like if you got to break a bond, sell some stocks, or can you just get it out of savings? Right. How liquid is it? So when you think about like 401ks, you can get your money out, but it's going to cost, right? Like you're going to deal with penalties. You're going to deal with, taxes as well. So that's what you want to think about when you're placing your money in different pockets. Okay. A high yield saving account is very low risk. Okay. They give you a interest rate. You put your money in there and it grows at the interest rate. But guess what? It is not, they are not loyal. So you don't have to be loyal because sometimes that interest rate will fluctuate. Look, I got in at like 4 or 5% a couple of years ago. Baby, that interest rate dropped to like 0.9%. It's back up, to like 4% or whatever. But at that time that it dropped, I could have, moved accounts or whatever. But also you want to make sure when you, look at the accounts that you're getting, make sure you understand the terms of agreement because sometimes they offer bonuses and things like that. Or, they may say you have to hold something in there for like 6 months or whatever. So you just need to make sure you understand the terms of agreement. So that way, when you're ready to move money, you can. Okay. So some of your low risk where you can get a pretty decent return right now, high yield savings, your money market accounts. Okay. So those are two places, especially like for an emergency fund. So if it's for an emergency fund, I think you should keep it in somewhere pretty liquid. Okay. Wherever you can start. Okay. If you can start at $500 a month, do that. Right. If you can try to get up to 1,000, once you get to 500, get to 1,000. Okay. Then try to secure a month's worth of your emergencies. Right. But you want that in a more liquid form. If you're looking to buy a house, that's, and it depends on, how long that you're looking. Do you want your house this year, next year, 2 years from now? How soon are you looking to get it? Then you could, house your money, someplace safe where it doesn't need to be touched. Let's say you had another place where you could put your money is in a certificate of deposit or a bond. But you have to be careful with those because you don't get to touch your money, or usually at minimum, well, some of them are, I have seen 6 months, but most people hold them at least a year or more. And sometimes if you do not, if you, like I think the I bond is you have to put your money in there for like 2 years, because actually right now I bonds have 6.89% interest. But if you don't have it in there for two years, like you're gonna lose like 3 months worth of the interest that it actually gained. Okay. So those are low risk, you know, but they're a little higher risk than your high yield savings account, money market account. Those are pretty safe. But there are some things that I wouldn't say go wrong, but that could happen. Okay. It just depends on the type of bond that you get and things like that. So, but they do have some pretty decent returns right now. But the thing is that your money is going to be tied down, right? Can you handle that? Okay. And this is why a big thing about money is that you have to change your mindset, right? Because some people are like, ooh, if I don't spend it, or if I can't see it, or if I can't touch it, then I ain't got it. Okay, you're gonna have to learn how to put some money somewhere and forget about it. Okay. I mean, don't forget about it like you don't have it, because we need you to make sure, especially with bonds and stuff, paper bonds. Like, yeah, we don't need to be googling assets, with your name. Those websites, the government websites where you can look to see if you can find your money. Like, we don't need you doing all of that. Okay. But those are a couple of places where you could put your money. I mean, you still have the fundamental items, right? Like your 401ks and our self-directed IRAs. But right now, if you don't have a high risk when you're trying to invest, like if your tolerance for investing is not like solid, I guess I'll say some people, let's put it this way. Some people are not okay. Like they holding it on tight. Don't do it. Don't hold on too tight. Okay. Because I just posted a scripture today, and that was like, yeah, that's the truth. People try to hold on to it too tight. They didn't want to end up losing it. Okay. So don't hold it too tight. All right. But if you have, I have a high risk tolerance. I don't know how I got there. I don't know why, but you definitely, but for me, have a high risk tolerance, I don't mind putting my money in the stock market right now, like in an index fund, all right, which is pretty safe. Um, it can lose value, but I'm not worried about it because I have time to wait it out. Okay. Some people don't have time to wait it out, right? If you're close to retirement, you don't have time to wait it out. You don't have time for it to bounce back. So putting your money there may not be in your best interest, right? You want to put it somewhere safe where you know that it can grow and that you're not going to lose value, right? Which is why insurance is a good product. But again, I'm not an insurance agent. I just said. But yeah. Oh, let's see. I have, because y'all know I can talk. So let's see. Totally agree. We do need to find where we can put our money to gain better return and what will work for you. Definitely. Excellent. I'm gonna let Tasha chime in if she has any tips, any tricks, any questions, or anything like that on where we could put our money. So I find that this topic is just great because sometimes we just don't know, and we just need to be informed about the different avenues where we need to put it, and just be strategic about how we do that. Go for it.
One of the things I will say is that insurance is a lifetime commitment. So when you're buying a policy, you're making sure that you're going to keep it for life. When you're buying a whole life policy or a cash value policy, that's going to accumulate cash. And the other thing we need to know is, yes, infinite banking is a great concept for your insurance. You can do that to help you build wealth. But in addition to that policy, you do need a policy that's going to be there to pay the death benefit to your family. So understand there's a policy to build wealth, and then there's the policy that's going to take care of your family. So make sure you use it wisely and make sure you can afford both when you go into that. So you know what you're going into, eyes wide open. Okay. And Rashida, you did a great job. I mean, annuities are a great way for you to put your money away because it defers, it grows tax deferred, and you don't have to worry about it, And then, of course, there are short-term annuities. A lot of people think that you just have to use it for retirement, but no, they're short-term annuities. You can have them for 5 years. Maybe you're trying to save for a specific goal, and that'll help you get there. And then, of course, you have the ones that we use for retirement. And of course, there are different types of annuities. There's fixed annuities, there's indexed annuities, which is another form of a fixed annuities. And then there's variable annuities. Those go into the market. So if you're a high risk person, like Rashida said she is, you can risk it all in the market if that's what you want to do. Because if the market goes up, guess what? The annuity value goes up. But once again, as the market goes down, the annuity value goes down. So you just have to be aware of the risk. Take calculated risk. If you do not have enough money to lose, then you may not want to go into a high risk investment. You don't want to go in there where you put your money there. You want to first accumulate some money, at least about $10,000, and then you can start having room to be risky with more money in those high risk investments. Also, if you're just starting out, I know a lot of people complain about, Cash App. I'll say this: you can use Cash App to start investing in stocks, start getting into Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, and you can use that as a beginner way to get your feet wet with doing something other than spending your money. You can start small where you are, where you can learn, and you can play around with it. And then you can grow your money in a more high risk or in a faster way. But I will say this, yes, CDs still works. Those are guaranteed ways to put your money in. You're going to put your money in with the bank. They're going to give you a little bit higher interest rate than you would with the savings account. But remember, it is locked up for several years until, of course, it matures. And then they give you your money back. Now, will it keep pace with inflation? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the times, right? Right now, I don't think too much is keeping pace with inflation. But you need to figure out where you're going to invest your money. For your personal finance, what are you looking to do? I mean, real estate is a good way to do that. Tax liens. There is, of course, many different ways for you to buy drip shares, drip investments for the stock market. I mean, there's just so many different ways that you can put or invest your personal finances so that you can grow your wealth. There are just so many different ways, but you have to figure out what's right for you. That's the most important thing. What can you afford to lose? How much can you afford to put in each and every month? And what feels right for you? Can you roll the dice and lose it all because you want big gains? Or do you need to be more conservative with it? That all comes down to you, your thinking, and your needs. And nobody should sway you from where you are. Because if you're a moderate or a conservative person and you go high risk, you're going to be really upset if you lose everything. So make sure you make a decision that's comfortable for you.
I agree. And, and I love that last part you said there, because I've seen people, like, I know people who I've talked to and, they have a plan, but then there'll be like somebody else will come through and be like, hey, you should do this. Da, 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 da. Look, there are so many strategies to get to the same place, but everybody doesn't wish to have, millions and millions of dollars, right? Some people just want to be comfortable or whatever it is. They want their little house in the cottage with one neighbor that's 2 miles down the road or whatever it is, or they want to be inner city. It doesn't, whatever, right? So if you have a plan, stick to your plan. If you can see where it's going to be a little bit more efficient or whatever, and it works for you, then you can do that. But don't listen. You can't be listening to everybody. I kind of feel like what I do is I listen to a lot of financial literacy people, right? But that was to help me develop my own personal, like what my risk tolerance is, my own personal belief about money and things like that. Okay. Because when you're first starting out, it's like you could be swayed to do this, you could be swayed to do that. And so you want to make sure that you have a good, solid background. Okay. You, for good faith, faith based, look towards, what you're supposed to do based on, what your spiritual settings say, right? Then, if you're just looking at, where you are, and you talk to your financial advisor or talk to a financial coach, they usually will help you get a plan, set goals, execute those, go, right? Don't always, you don't have the FOMO effect, like fear of missing out, right? Because when you do that, you might make mistakes. And I've done that in just business. And so it's like, just stick to your plan, because if you stick to your plan, you would be way further. You will be way further ahead. Okay, a couple other things I want to say is that if you have debt, right, your debt is going to cost you more because of the Fed rate, right? So you definitely, before putting anything in there, like let's say you want to open up a permanent policy or something, because that is a whole life experience. Like, you trying to fund that for the rest of your life, you want to make sure that you don't have all of this high debt that's going to get in the way of you funding that, right? Like, oh, should I pay my policy? Should I pay my debt? Like, you don't want to have those choices, right? Because the purpose of the whole life policy, depending on what your goals are, but again, you're supposed to fund that, right? You want to make sure you can do it. But your debt, okay, wherever it was at last week or this month, it's going to cost you more next month because of those variable rates for credit cards. So if you look at, because usually when you're paying down your debt, your interest rate, how their payment to your interest rate should go down if you're paying more, or even just the minimum. It should go down a little bit, but you probably won't see that this time around, because you'll see your interest rate might have, it would have hiked up. All right. And you're like, wait a minute, how did I pay $40 in interest this month and $53 in interest or 43 last month and 53 this month? Well, that's because the rates keep increasing. Okay. Um, So you have to be mindful of that. If you do have debt, one of the things that you can do is to make sure, like, you could have a term policy. That's pretty cheap, right? If you have no insurance, you can get a term policy. If your children are in college or whatever, they can get a term policy for the amount of their education. And so then when they're not in such high debt, and they've paid it off or whatever it is, that boom, that can be taken care of while you have a high debt. As you work off your debt, then you don't have to necessarily, you could keep the policy for the term that you have it, or you don't have to. You could let it lapse. So it's up to you, but it depends. All of that's going to depend on your plan, right? It's all going to depend on your plan, depending on whatever it is that you're working on. And another thing I don't suggest doing is making sure make also make sure that you do have an emergency fund. Okay. And the reason I say this is because if you don't have things set up properly, then you're going to be trying to dip into some of your where you place your money, whether it's your savings account, whether it's a investment like a 401, 403b, depending on who you work for, or self-directed IRA. You're going to be trying to dip into some of these places that are not supposed to be dipped into, and then you're going to end up with 10%, you know, taxes and penalties or whatever it is. You don't want to, because you breaking bonds, again, penalties. You end up losing all the gains that you would have gotten if you would have held on. Okay, held on to the actual product that you were buying into. So that goes for any higher investment. So your CDs, your bonds, your IRAs and 401ks, all of those are retirement accounts. So they don't want you to really touch that money until it's time for you to retire, right? So there's so many like laws and things that you have to do with your money. And so you really just want to be solid. You really want to set up that emergency fund. You really want to make sure that you get um, your unproductive debt down. Okay. Unproductive means it's not producing any assets for, it's not producing anything for you. Like, you're not getting cash flow from this particular your assets. That's kind of like going out shopping, buying some clothes. Now, it just depends. If you're in the fashion industry, and like, it just depends on what it is, right? But sometimes we're buying a lot of stuff that really it's not helping us. It's not producing any income. We just wanted it was cute. We deserve it. And so we got a whole bunch of tags in our closet that said, "Oh, I deserve, I deserve, I deserve." They never been worn. And yeah, but the bank account up. Oops, I was negative last month. Okay, and I am not trying to be mean to anybody because I've been there. Trust me, I have been there. Okay, so we just want to get control of the spending. Make sure you keep your debts low. Think about all your different options that you have. Some great places to study different things. Okay, investopedia.com. I love Investopedia. Bankrate.com will show you all the like current rates, the best rates. And I like because they will actually break it down. They go through and review each company and they tell you, okay, this is what's required at this company. This is what we like about it. This is what we don't like about it. For all the different types of products. Okay. Whether it's just a general checking account, savings account, they do have some high paying savings accounts or high paying checking accounts. So you might want to look into that. Okay. And don't be loyal to the banks because as you can see in the past month, as we can see, the banks ain't loyal to us. They over here playing Russian roulette with all of our coins. Okay. And some of these businesses were definitely panicking a couple of weeks ago. So if you start seeing interest rates go down or you see a different offer, hey, you can move. Yes, it takes a little work because you gotta plug all your automatic stuff in there, but you can do it. All right. So look, I probably didn't say everything that I need to say at the actual meeting. Y'all getting more because I'm only gonna talk for about 15 minutes. Okay. So y'all probably getting way more than what I'm even gonna be talking about. But it's always good, no matter people are so afraid to give all the details, but nine times it's like 99% of the time. So most people don't take the steps to actually go ahead and go through and do anything. So they just heard something and made them feel good. I call that an emotional stimulus. And then guess what happened? They just keep going about their lives. It's like the TVs that Walmart put out. Everybody spent their little stimulus money, and now they going off with their life. They could have did something else with that money. So if you're here or if you watch the recording, do something with the information. Okay. And if you have questions, reach out to us, info@blackwomenempoweringfinances.com. And you can find either one of us on social media as well. Well, you're already here, so you know where we at. But anyway, y'all, that's it. Cause your girl got to get to doing her task. I gotta knock down doors this year. So yeah. It's again Rashida Roberts. I'm at One Smart University. And again, this Saturday, we're going to be networking. That's the best part of it. Don't matter that I'm going to be speaking because I can always talk to people one-on-one. All right. Go register blackwomennetwork.org. Even if you, just thinking about it. Heck, even if you don't have a business, come out because you might be looking for somebody to invest in because you might need something. Okay. You might be looking for a financial coach or insurance agent or, somebody who helps with business and personal credit. You never know who will be there to help you or whatever that you need or that you're looking to do. All right. So I'm out. I'm gonna let Tasha sign out. Whatever you have to say, take us away.
Well, thank y'all so much for joining us. And it's going to be awesome to meet new people on Saturday. We are going to make some new connections and possibly maybe even some collaboration. So be sure to come out and join us and listen to Rashida talk about all the tips on personal finance. You got a lot today, but I'm sure she has a whole lot more to tell you. So I'm excited. Can't wait. Go to www.blackwomennetwork.org to register today. And we cannot wait to see you there at 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern. So you'll join me, Rashida, Joyce, Janisha, and Dee. All of us will be there. We're a Black Women Empowering Finances. And thanks for joining us. See you.